All right, today we're going to dive into a framework that's all about living a more fulfilling life. It comes from a really foundational text on human values, and you know what? It all kicks off with one very simple, very direct question. So let me ask you straight up. Are you, right now, what you really want to be? Just think about it for a second. For so many of us, there's this gap, right, between who we are day to day and the person we feel we're meant to be deep down. That little internal conflict, it's a source of so much unease. So in this explainer, we're going to unpack exactly why that is and explore a possible path to closing that gap. So that feeling we were just talking about, it actually has a name. The source material calls this gap the modern contradiction. And it's that nagging sense that something's just a little bit off, even when everything on the surface seems totally fine. And where does this contradiction start? Well, it often begins really early. I mean, from the time we're kids, we're kind of pushed onto this track, aren't we? Do well in school, get the good job, build the career, make the money. After, 20-something years of education, that's pretty much presented as the whole point of life. But is it really? This slide just puts it all on the table, doesn't it? On one hand, you've got what we are. This is us running on autopilot, totally driven by outside stuff, what the media says, what society expects, all the things we were taught to believe without question. But then on the other side, there's what we want to be. And that comes from our inner voice, which is always nudging us toward genuine happiness, real peace, and a sense of fulfillment. And this quote, wow, it really gets to the heart of the argument. It's saying that this internal tug of war isn't just a minor annoyance. No, the source is proposing it's the fundamental reason we feel dissatisfied. You know, that constant feeling of, is this all there is? Well, it comes from that space between what we're doing and who we really are. Okay, so if that's the problem, what's causing it? What's the diagnosis? Well, this framework suggests it all comes down to a huge misunderstanding between the two main parts of what makes us human, the self and the body. And here is the absolute crucial point. The problem is that we are mixing up two completely different sets of needs. We have the needs of the self, that's our consciousness, the I, that's thinking and feeling, and then we have the needs of our physical body. The trouble starts when we try to use the same things to satisfy both, which, as we'll see, just doesn't work. This table breaks it down so clearly. Just look at the self column. What does it need? Happiness, respect, trust. These are feelings, right? They're qualitative. You can't measure them. And our need for them, it's continuous. We don't just want to be happy on Tuesdays. We want to be happy all the time. Now look at the body. It needs food, shelter. These things are quantitative. You can measure them. A pound of rice, 1,000 square foot house. And the need is only temporary. You eat, you fall, and the need goes away for a little while. This difference right here, it's the key to everything. And because we don't see that difference, we fall right into this trap. We try to satisfy that continuous need for happiness with temporary physical stuff. We think, if I just get that new car, I'll be happy. And you are, for a week. But because the car is a temporary fix for a continuous need, the good feeling fades. It's a cycle that's designed to fail, over and over again. So if that's the trap, how do we get out? How do we break the cycle? Well, the framework proposes a solution. And it doesn't involve looking outside for more stuff. It involves looking within. The whole process is called self-exploration. The key tool for this whole journey is something the source calls natural acceptance. The easiest way to think about it is it's your inner compass, your gut feeling. It's that part of you that just knows what's right, way before your mind starts debating it. For example, think about respect. Did anyone ever have to teach you that you want to be respected? No, it's just naturally acceptable. That's your natural acceptance talking. And the process itself is actually pretty simple. It's just 2 steps. First, verification. You take any idea, any belief, any proposal, like money is the most important thing, and you just check it against your natural acceptance. You ask yourself, deep down, does this feel universally true and right to me? Then, step 2 is validation. You actually try to live based on what you verified. And then you just watch the results in your own life. This isn't about believing something blindly. It's about testing it and seeing for yourself. So what's the end goal of all this self-exploration? Where does it lead? It leads to a state of harmony. And here's the big idea. According to this framework, harmony is happiness. I just love this definition. It's such a powerful way to reframe what we're all chasing. Happiness isn't that temporary high you get from a great dessert or buying a new phone.
It's a deep, stable, and continuous feeling that comes from being in sync, when what you think, what you say, and what you do are all aligned. And this idea of harmony isn't just a single thing. It expands outwards in 4 levels. It starts with number 1, harmony in the self, getting your own thoughts and feelings to work together. Then it moves to harmony with your body, really understanding its needs. From there, it expands to harmony in your relationships with family and friends and society. And finally, the biggest level of all, harmony with nature and existence. The idea is to find that continuous happiness, we have to find our alignment in all 4 of these areas.
Okay, so what does this all look like when you put it into practice? This whole framework offers a pretty transformative vision for how we can live, really. It's about shifting from one state of being to a completely different one. And these two concepts really capture that shift perfectly. The first state, which we can call enslaved, is when we're living on autopilot, just driven by what we've been told and what our senses want. We're in conflict with our inner truth. But the other state, self-organized, that is true freedom. That's when you're self-aware, you're in the driver's seat, guided by your own inner compass, your natural acceptance. The entire journey is about moving from one to the other. And so that brings us full circle, right back to a question. But this time, it's one for you to take with you. After hearing all this, what do you think would change in your own life, in your daily decisions, in your relationships, in your goals, if you really started to live by your own natural acceptance? It's a pretty powerful thought, isn't it? Something definitely worth exploring.